Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. New report, July 2022, just came out this morning. I had a chance to go through it, and there's a lot in there in the BIS report, and it seems to be pointing all to me that Ripple, XRP, and the Ledger. And guess what else? SEC versus Ripple, motion granted and motion denied. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen. Everything that we're talking about here today. Give us a follow on TikTok at Digital Perspectives, no spaces, for exclusive content. $951 billion market cap for crypto. It's July 11th, 2022. Good afternoon, everybody. Right now, the market is off by 1.9%. Bitcoin, 20,400 plus. Ethereum, 1,100 plus. And XRP is 32 cents today. Let's take a look at the range of price. Between 32 33 cents, pretty tight trading range right here. I want to remind you, link underneath the video if you're wanting to get involved in an IRA, a crypto IRA, gold and silver IRA too, by the way. And I tell you, I love it. The only thing better than buying crypto is buying tax-free crypto, and you could do that with iTrust Capital. Look, they have an enormous selection of tokens that you can look at and choose from. You can also roll over a previous 401k into this IRA as well, and other IRAs. So make sure you check out all the positives to what they offer there. It's really fantastic. Look at this, US dollar surges, which usually means that it's bad for crypto here. We will keep an eye on it. How much longer will it go before we have some kind of real meltdown? I don't know, but I tell you, I do believe there's going to be a pay-to-piper moment in the traditional economy. And I do believe at some point we're going to see probably another meltdown. I know that this is not a fan favorite in the crypto space, because I'm expecting the SEC to sue a major exchange. I'm expecting to potentially see some big company that's unexpected go belly up. And I'm also expecting for USD Tether to get absolutely body slammed on the floor and no longer be allowed to be a currency or forced to go through some kind of registration, what have you. I see some kind of moment there, and all of those happen, or at least one of those really could bring a lot more downside action, price action to this market. We shall see. Look right here, new advisor blog right here. Casinocoin picks up Barry Patrick to the team right there. And just very quickly, you guys know I've been a fan of that. My family gambles. I love holding Casinocoin. I'm excited about what they're doing. Shout out to Daniel and Mark, everybody there. But Barry has over 12 years experience focused within the VIP environment across multiple licensed casinos. And I found that to be very interesting, that he's going to be bringing his knowledge from the VIP side. Get that big money in there. Yeah, damn right. Right, Barry. Is Barry or Patrick Barry there? Let me get that right. I just want to see that. It is Barry. So Barry Patrick, I believe. Congratulations to him and everybody over there at CSC. Look at this. Riots breaking out in China as bank has frozen deposits and won't allow customers access to their funds. Look, this is just not about like the Celsiuses of the world. I think this is showing us that, Sri Lanka just had a huge protest go on there as well. Inflation, bank runs, all of the, what we're seeing here. Evergrande could be China's Lehman Brothers moment. We've heard that over and over. Evergrande may be tied to Tether in investment. All of these things could be a very, very cascading effect when it comes to crypto and stable coins. And I think it could help push legislation to move through here in the U.S. possibly sooner. And look, one has to wonder. All of these central banks are tied together. So you start seeing problems like this, and they don't go away, and they don't get dealt with and resolved. I think you'll start looking for the cascading effects. And take a look at this. This is a video clip, and shout out to Nerd Nation right here. This is the original video source here from 2019. It is a federal agency conference, and Homeland Security special agent who's talking in this video says that they know exactly who Satoshi is, and it's not one person, it's a cabal of 4 different people. Take a listen.
We looked at Bitcoin. It was the most prevalent at that point. We had seized quite a bit of it, millions of dollars worth, under the Silk Road investigation. So one of our agents who started looking at another online marketplace through the deep web, which was called Black Market Reloaded, they were sending weapons through packages, ordering them on the dark web. And he was really, really smart, forward-leaning agent. And he goes, I want to go interview Satoshi Nakamoto. And we're like, what? He said, yeah, I want to go interview this guy. And at the time, we're like, hey, it's a figment of somebody's imagination. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not true. So, we had all this pushback from our headquarters. And we thought, hey, if an agent wants to go talk to him and we have some money, why don't we send him? Let's find out how this works. So as it came to be, the agents flew out to California, and they realized that he wasn't alone in creating this. There were 3 other people, and they sat down and met with them and talked to them to find out how this actually works and what their reason for it was. We looked at Bitcoin. It was the most prevalent.
And there you have it. Take a listen one more time here.
This works. So as it came to be, the agents flew out to California, and they realized that he wasn't alone in creating this. There were 3 other people.
There's 4 in total right there that make up Satoshi. So what fascinates me here is they know who created it, according to them and these agencies. And you're telling me that they're letting the world bet on Bitcoin as if it's a commodity just like gold that's pulled out of the ground. You got to be kidding me. Somehow Bitcoin gets a pass, right? Somehow Bitcoin gets to be a commodity here. Look, this clip is very good. Shout out to Nerd Nation, but there's more questions than there are answers. I can tell you that. And will anyone, William Lally says, file a FOIA request to release the names of the real creators of Bitcoin? I'd love to know if that's possible. That is a great question. Here's a guy who fights FUD all the time, even if he's not still working at Ripple. It's Matt Hamilton right here. A really, really great developer has worked with Ripple or XRP Labs, either one of them there, I think at Ripple X, and basically fighting the FUD, letting everybody know what the real deal is. In an argument with Bitcoin maximalists, he stated Ripple itself operates only 5% of all XRP-Ledger nodes, has no central governing body, according to Matt Hamilton. Anyone can run an XRP-Ledger node and verify transactions on par with other nodes. How about that? So he's fighting the FUD out here. We always appreciate it. And look, and I tell you, the FUD, this is beyond FUD. This is really atrocious. It is disgraceful, as Tipsy Tiger says here. Earlier this morning, we reported on the fact that the SEC was looking to brawl over the expert reports and seal some information. We have some follow-up information on some of that. Ruling from the judge, motion in part granted, motion in part denied. In part as well. We'll get into that in just a second. But it is disgraceful on the part of the SEC because the SEC agency screwed up by initiating this lawsuit. Now it seeks to hide and protect itself at every opportunity. That is not how a regulator should act. They should be protecting us, and they're harming us. This is how we know right from the macro side of this thing that they've gotten on the wrong side of the ball here. Global securities regulator IOSCO plan to publish policy recommendations for DeFi and crypto by the end of the year. And guess what? We know the Financial Conduct Authority over in UK has really got a leading position on clarity there. And here we see that the 2 working groups, one headed by the United States SEC and the other by the UK's FCA, have agreed to publish reports with recommendations for DeFi and crypto assets, respectively, by the end of 2023, so by the end of next year. Look, they're all scrambling to get a hold of this thing. They acknowledge it here. The IOSCO members regulate securities markets in about 130 jurisdictions. So it's a lot, right? But nevertheless, both working groups will focus on issues related to market integrity, investor protection. You want to protect investors, let's go ahead and settle this lawsuit with clarity. Provide guidance on how existing regulatory frameworks for securities could be applied to digital assets. Now, let's change gears a little bit because I covered a piece of this in this morning's video, and you should watch it if you haven't seen it. Options for access to and interoperability of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, for cross-border payments. This came out this morning that I'm aware of here. What I want to show you is some highlighted pieces here. NEWBIS July 22 report points to XRP Ripple as a solution for the new financial system. Does it say it? No, but you're going to read it and get it. You're going to understand it. Because inside of this, and I want to start at the beginning here, how they're posted, that I want to lay this out for us here. So first diagram I want to show you is this right here. And if you look at this one with the example of hub and spoke, a common hub connects separate CBDC systems of participating jurisdictions. FX can take place at the payment service provider or at the interlinking arrangements provided by the hub. So this to me appeared to be the one that really aligned in my eyes as I was looking through the report to really line up with the idea of the XRP ledger. The ILP as well, right? Whatever they need to get that done. And that looked like that to me, and possibly a RippleNet scenario. Now, if I come back to the other things that were in here, I want to point out this. So here's that. And then I want to point out this right here. The MBridge, which has been cited by James Wallace. I played it this morning. You can go watch that video and see James's clip in there where he talks about MultiBridge is the one that's suited for the XRP ledger. And it's because the MCBDC platform for cross-border payments, as the earlier versions of MBridge have shown that using CBDC arrangements for cross-border payments can be cheaper, faster, and more transparent than today's existing systems. Very quickly, I just want to read this highlighted part here. Projects involved BIS Hub Center in Hong Kong, SAR, Hong Kong Monetary Authority, Digital Currency Institute, the People's Bank of China, the Central Bank of United Arab Emirates, the Bank of Thailand, and private sector partners. High-level design of the experiment and current iteration of the project built on MultiBridge Ledger. All central banks can issue their respective CBDCs on the platform, exactly the way James Wallace explained in the video from this morning. And all commercial bank participants can receive this issued CBDC in return for reserves and transact directly with each other regardless of jurisdiction. And that's exactly how the ledger is built in the private ledger with the rules and governance in it. Then looking at this, key considerations around interoperability and access, which we know is so important. Several key considerations around interoperability and access options still need to be decided for the current iteration of the project. The project is currently gathering requirements to provide connectivity with all DLT-based CBDC systems, RTGS and traditional payment integrations, access to the platform as a private DLT, access to the platform as a private DLT, just like the Ripple private ledger maybe, is achieved by successfully completing the onboarding process. The onboarding criteria for each jurisdiction are the responsibility of the corresponding central bank. The technical platform onboarding is still in discovery. The project aims to onboard a few commercial banks for a pilot to better understand these requirements. The respective platform controls each issuing central bank control which participants are allowed to have custody of its currency, maximum custody of transaction limits. All issuing central banks can see transactions, balance sheets, details of all banks within their jurisdiction. Commercial banks can only see their own custody and transaction details. So this is what we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. And here in this, I want to point out they're running a test as well covering EBonds, electronic bond issuance. I think this is important because if you get down here, the interlinking both of CBDCs and the fictitious digital bond was conducted in a multi-cloud environment that incorporated public and private clouds for the wholesale CBDCs to circulate 2 issuer nodes on each subnetwork controlled by the Bank of France for the Euro WCBDC and by the simulated central bank for the blank 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 XXX WCBDC. They leave that part out. I found that to be interesting. Now, look, when I think Bank of France there, it reminds me of this little piece of news that came out last year. And it's the Central Bank of France eyes XRP as basis for digital euro. Well, this is exactly what we're talking about is EBonds and CBDC issuances of Euronet. And look at what's going on here, Euro CBDC. You know, this is all being mentioned now, and this is being speculated on a year ago. We're still speculating today, but the reality is the CPA Australia released a report, says the Central Bank of France is considering using Ripple and XRP as the potential platform for issuing the digital euro. I can tell you we still don't have the answer, but it looks a lot more like we're still pointed in the right direction here, just understanding this BIS report. It is speculation. Take a look at this. This is not speculation. The SEC has filed its response to Ripple defendants' request for expedited briefing regarding the disputed SEC sealing request in connection with the upcoming Dalbert challenges. But let me get you to what's just really breaking out here. Judge Torres has just granted in part and denied in part parties' requests to seal documents in connection with the Amici motion to participate in the Dalbert proceedings. Proposed redactions are due by July 15, 2022, in just 4 days. Take a look at this right quick. And shout out to Jim for this. In the conclusion, it says, the foregoing reasons, the parties' motions are granted in part and denied in part. Specifically, the SEC's request to redact language in the SEC letter is granted, and defendants' request to redact citation to Exhibit O in the SEC letter is denied. The SEC's request to redact language in the defendant's letter with the exception of redaction of footnotes 1 is granted. The SEC's request to redact footnote 1 is denied. Number 3, the SEC's request to seal Exhibits D, E, F, G, and P to the SEC letter and redact Exhibit B to the SEC letter and exhibit to the defendant's letter is granted. However, the SEC's request to seal C, H, L, M, N, and Q to the SEC letter is denied. Defendant's request to seal Exhibit O to the SEC letter is denied. By July 15, 2022, the parties may propose narrowly tailored redactions to Exhibit C, H, L, M, N, O, and Q, along with explanation justifying their redactions. This is the clerk of the court. Is directed to terminate the pending motions 498 and 508. And there you have it. And that's the latest that we have on it right there, ladies and gentlemen. Things are happening. The market's down. We think that it's not, but things are taking place. Things are moving forward. We just have to have our head on a swivel. This is crypto. You never know. I'll catch all of you on the next one.